Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I am bringing you my mini nugget box. So about a year ago I made another nugget box that was quite a bit bigger than this one. And I thought, why not have a go at downsizing, but also I wanted to change how it was made up. Obviously I'm using the Flowers for Every Season DSP because it is my sweet week. And as you can see, these are just tiny little nugget boxes. So this one is actually been sealed with a glue dot, so it's just sealed complete, and this one has a ribbon wrapped around it, and they're both made out of one sheet of 6x6 DSP. Today's I'm going to make with cardstock and use a band to close it, as I did with my original one. I wanted to give you the three options so you can then decide which way you want to close or make yours. And they're really tiny, really simple, and as you can see can be made with just a scrap piece of sort of card or cardstock or DSP. So to start off with then, you're going to need a piece of cardstock or DSP that is 5.5 by 4 inches, so that'll be 14 by 10 centimetres. On the long side we're going to score at 1, 2, 3.5 and 4.5 inches, which in centimetres will be 2.5, 5, 9 and 11.5. And then on the short side we're going to score at 1 and 3 inches, which will be 2.5 and 7.5 centimetres. Okay, the usual fold and burnish. And again, the colours I'm using are the New Ink colours, Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight and Magenta Madness. Just 3 of the New Ink colours, which are just so pretty. Okay, to do some cutting then, if you imagine this being this way on, we're going to cut away the 4 corners. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is just trim away those squares in all 4 corners. So get rid of those ones. Oops. And then the next part you can either do by freehand or you can score, it's entirely your choice. What you need to be doing, and I'll just grab my scoring tool and my ruler, is cutting the next square, no I do want the smaller one, at an angle. Okay, so we're going to be doing all 4, but if you're confident with your scissors and your cutting, you're literally going to go at an angle from one corner to the other. Okay, you see my green ink? That's a telltale sign then of how many videos I do in one go. I can tell you it's 3 today. Okay, so we now have this shape left. So on these triangles here, you need to find the centre. Now, I kind of measured it and it's roughly about 3.5 centimetres. It's easier than doing an inch, trust me. So I need to be looking at about 1 3/4 of a centimetre, but that's quite hard. So instead, I just kind of go, and then you need to score to the centre. Okay, so we've got that going on, and we're going to do that on all 4 of our triangles here. So you're looking for about 1 3/4 of a centimetre. You basically find in the centre. If anybody knows of an easier way, by all means. That's not going to take me hours either, because these are fairly quick projects. Okay, once you've done all 4, these are simply the folding parts of the box. They're what create your box to fold up. So again, you're just going to go along and fold each one in on itself, just like so. That's it. Give them a pinch, make sure they know where they're going. Okay, so then you've got a box, but it is only a box. How do you get those sloping sides? Well, that's the easy part. So if you like back down, we have the end with 2 squares here, and then we have these side parts, and it's these side parts that we're going to mark. Again, I'm going to use centimetres simply because I find it easier than inches on this occasion. And I'm a bit naughty again. I measured this that it's approximately 3.8 centimetres. However, if you put 0.1 of a centimetre over the score line and the 4 part over a score line, you actually get the dead centre, which is 2. But we don't need the 2. I need to mark at 1 centimetre and 3. So we're basically measuring in 1 centimetre from either end. We're then going to score from that at an angle down to where the other score line meets. Okay, so we've got that going on. Exactly the same on the opposite side. So find out where it's relatively central. Didn't mark that too well. I think I marked the grid paper, not the card, which wasn't very wise. Okay, and for this part, I've used glue dots to adhere this, just because I found it a lot simpler. These folds that you've just done are actually going to fold in, so if you want to get a nail in there, just encourage it initially to fold, and then we're going to get some glue dots going. So, where's my take your pick? The first glue dot, so I've now got this on its back, if you like, so this is the inside of the box. So I'm going to go with 4 glue dots here, and I'm putting them on this side of my triangles, and I'll show you in just a second when I've put them on. Oh, no, that one didn't want to play. So that one on there, and then I just need one more. Okay, so my glue dots are on those sections, and all I do is fold them over and just squeeze those glue dots down so that they adhere. Leave your box like this, and we're going to add the next 4 glue dots on top of the previous one, as it were. So in exactly the same spot, but on the outside, if you like. Just on those. So can you see there? Again on that triangle. And this time we're folding now our box up. So we're now creating that join. So again here, give it a good press, just get that glue dot to adhere. Okay, and I'll fold these back now just so as I can show you that the last part here are these silly little angles that we've done here, and so they are just going to be pinched in, and I'm going to put a glue dot on there too, because you can imagine trying to get glue in there is going to be messy and a nightmare. So I'll pop them on, then again I will show you. So I've just put them there, look, just on that part, and I'm going to do the other side while I'm here, just because once they're sealed the box is quite narrow to get treats in. You'll get a little tiny treat in there, one of those bonbons that I've always got used. Okay, and then we're literally using our nail again and just squeezing those parts together. Exactly the same on the other side. If I fold these back, you can see. Give it a real good pinch, get that glue dot really adhering, and then you just slide the lids together, and there is your little nugget box. And then I have my strip of DSP that is 6 inches by 1 inch, 15 by 2.5 centimetres, and I'm just going to start at the back, at the base, and I'm just going to fold this all the way round, and then I'm going to let this fold up here. In fact, I've done that completely wrong, so ignore me. Let's go from the base all the way round. That's better. So start on the base, work your way round, and then I'm going to pop my adhesive on here. And then I'm just going to do that again on here. Just make sure it's central, and then when you bring this round, make sure you line those DSP ends up. There is my little belly band wrap. And finally, to decorate, so I have some classic label punch and some bumblebee, and then I have my whisper white here and my celebrate sunflowers, and I just want this word thanks. You have two options here. If you're brave enough, you can cut it. I'm not. So instead, I'm going to pop that on there. I'm going to get my bumblebee ink ready, my mini post-it notes, and I am going to cover a bunch with that one. The sticky end is going to overlap and cover the swirly part there. And although this won't stay in place, what I am going to do is just simply hold it, take my ink pad to my stamp, because it's all covered up, and then I didn't cover the S. There we go. Take that out of the way. I think I've still missed an edge, but never mind. And then stamp onto my white. And there is my little thanks. Back in with my classic label punch. And this isn't long enough, so I'm going to need another. These little things are perfect, aren't they? So that's going to go in. And I'm going to punch that end first, and then it's stuck to me. Just take that off, back in with my post-it note just to make that shorter, and then I'm just going to take it down. Oh no, it slipped and cut that log. Anyway, we'll pretend I did that bit okay. And then just a couple of little dimensionals on the back. I will do this again so that it looks nice in the pictures. A couple of enamel dots. Stick it onto your band, and there you have them. Little nugget boxes. I will redo that one. Look at that, it slipped and sliced straight through my sentiment. How frustrating. I will redo it for the photos, but there you have them. Little nugget boxes. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon.